Okay, and then afterwards, click go, go, go. And bam, we created countries. And country ID column, country ID column, country ID column, country name column, country name column, country name column, and region column. Oh, region ID column, region ID column, region ID column. Then press the plus button, plus button, plus button, and then you get to actually go inside the columns. And click, 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 and bam, the columns. Type varchar 2, characters, characters, decimal, bam, bam, bam. Okay. And now on to the next slide. Alright, write a SQL statement to create a simple table countries including columns country ID, country name, and region ID, which is already exists. Side note, sometimes they word this like extra complicated, which is already exists. Like that doesn't make sense. I don't know if it was a foreign person or they're just wording it incorrectly on purpose to make it like the lab harder, like so it's more of a challenge. But it's something to be aware of when you're using W3 resource. Okay, so create table if not exist countries parentheses country underscore ID varchar parentheses 2 country name varchar parentheses 40 comma region underscore ID decimal parentheses 10 comma 0. Alright, create table if not exists. Create table if not exists. Create table if not exists. So if it doesn't exist, create countries. If it doesn't exist, create countries. If it doesn't exist, create countries. Alright, so if this wasn't here, if not exists, and you put create table countries, then it would have like made an error. See, look, hold on. Alright, and when you want to redo something in the same database, just re-click countries, re-click countries, re-click countries. Countries is the database, countries is the database, countries is the database. SQL to start doing SQL, SQL to start doing SQL, SQL to start doing SQL. Okay, now, and Control V. It's easier most times to just Control V, Control V, Control V. If you try to double click, right click, and all that, then you have to go to the double click and copy process. But Control V is like the best. And see, like the same exact command, let's just hit go, and bam, error. Create table countries, blah 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 blah. MySQL said issue number 1050, the line number 1050, 1050, 1050. What this is basically a reference number. When you if you memorize the numbers, you can automatically know what type of issue it is. Like, oh, I think, oh, 1050. Oh, I already like created something like this before. All right, hold on. Table countries already exist. So when it's 1050, typically the table is already existing and all that. So it won't let us go through with the query and stuff. And watch again, and same thing. This table exists. So 1050, ha 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 ha. Or the table exists and all that. Grr. Okay, so alright, now if we put if not exists, then it should let us go through with the command. But first, let's get through the whole thing. Alright, country underscore ID, varchar 2. It's going to be called country ID. Characters is going to be available too. Comma space, another entry. Country name, that's going to be the name of the country. Varchar, number of characters. Character number is going to be 40. Comma space, another entry. Region underscore ID, the ID of the region, or maybe unique ID. Decimal, so we can write a whole number digit, and then period, decimal. This is a comma, 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 but we're just imagining it as a period. And the decimal is going to be 0. When the decimal is 0 at the end, you usually see nothing but the whole number. So this would be like exactly like 10.0, 10.0, 10.0, 10.0. That's basically what this would be. Or you could think of it as 10, 10, 10. And then if this was like 45, then it would probably be like 10.45. I kind of forgot, but I have to look. Or if this was 35, then this would be 10.35. Or if this was 10.01, then this would be 10.01. Or if it was like 5.07